Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
When we got into this thing with the best intentions, really. I never...
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Back to the Frame Rate, a weekly podcast where we have a conversation about movies, reviews, news, and recommendations. With me are my wonderful co-hosts, Sam Cole and Eli Escobar.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, good to see both of you again. It's nice to see that we survived the polar vortex, and that's a good thing.
It was amazing. We survived the polar vortex, and we also survived the Chinese spy ball. So it's been a very dramatic week. I wore a huge sombrero on my hat outside, so their surveillance couldn't detect that it was me. They couldn't see my head.
Excellent. So I want to just see how both of you been doing. Any exciting news you want to share this week?
I personally, it's been kind of a quiet week for me. I've just been editing the latest video in my YouTube series called Walks of World. And in this video, I actually drive all the way from Los Angeles to the Arctic Ocean via the Dempster Highway. And that's like a kind of an epic series that I've been doing. So it's Walks of World on YouTube, and my handle is Walks of World 1981. And that's pretty much what I've been up to. Check it out if you get the chance. Shameless plug, but that has honestly been my week. An uneventful week. Other than that, not much excitement.
Sam, I've seen some of those episodes. They're fantastic, and I really enjoy seeing your updates from those. That was inspiring seeing where you've been.
I'm glad you enjoyed, and you actually inspired me when you shared some like nature videos and stuff. That sort of like gave me the idea. So always like hiking, traveling, that type of stuff.
Excellent. Ellie, how are you doing this week?
Sam has a very exciting life.
It's true. It's pretty incredible. No, not really. No, sometimes, not all the time.
So I haven't, this week it was just pretty much, I went hard on my acting training. So just studying a lot and coaching with my amazing Larry Moss, actor coach. And so just been really digging and learning my script for the class and just, prepping, learning, seeing, studying, breaking down the scenes basically. So basically it's been a preparation week. And every week that I'm not auditioning or in a film, you'll find me here at home, reading plays, pretending I'm all 5 characters in the play. Yeah, I do that out loud too.
Excellent.
That's impressive. Your discipline and commitment to the craft is amazing.
Yeah, I love it. It's like, it's something that it's natural. Dudes, I can't just be in my kitchen cooking. I start creating my own story in my head, right? And I start acting it too. Sometimes my mom is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "You act like you're crazy." I'm like, "I am delusional." You have to be delusional to be an actor.
That's true. Yeah. cross into a better threshold for sure.
In a good way, though. In a good way.
In a good way. Yeah. but you're crazy in a good way, inspirational crazy, not like drive a truck into an ATM crazy. That's not you. Yeah.
No. Okay. No.
Although that'd make a good movie, though.
Well, anyone
that would make a good movie. You as like a maniac driver, and it would be a sequel to that Russell Crowe movie Unhinged, except it would star you.
Dude,
and you drive around, you're like, get out of my way, apologize to me. I would watch that movie.
Yeah, I think. Hey, write it.
Sam. I will. I'll have it ready for next week as soon as I watch Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I still haven't yet. And I apologize, but it will happen in the early days of this excellent podcast.
Shame, Sam.
It's shameful. I'm not proud of it. Yeah. I know it's going to be great.
Yeah. Since we're kind of talking about our creative endeavors, this I wouldn't necessarily call this creative, but another shameless plug. It was mentioned last week. I did make a feature film, and it is streaming. It's not streaming. It's available on video on demand on Vimeo. My film Higher Methods. But what I did do, I take little steps and making progress on it. And I recorded my director's commentary track on it over the past week.
Very nice.
Which it's the first time I've ever done director's commentary for any feature or short, I think, ever.
That's cool.
It was a unique experience. And I did it only by myself because I don't think I was going to get any of my actors or anybody to come back. And I've been living with this film for now 6 years or more. And I just decided I'm going to knock this out. So I synced it up to the film, and I am making it as a bonus feature on the VOD site. So
cool. That's nice.
If anybody purchases it, you get my commentary track, and I talk about all the fun we were having on set while we were making the movie on these during the different scenes. And I talk about editing choices, music choices, and directing choices for this. It was a lot of fun doing that. So it was a nice way of kind of revisiting that movie over the past week. So that's Higher Methods. That's available on VOD on Vimeo on demand.
And so do you sync it up to the movie, and then you just sit in one sitting, you basically watch the movie?
Kind of like what I'm doing right here, right now with both of you, looking at my laptop, and I'm like, all right, so hi, this is Nathan Schur, the director of Higher Methods, and yeah, this was day 5, and I remember, so yeah, it was kind of like that. I made some notes as I'm going to talk about this during this scene, and
right.
And how I could have done this better. I didn't dwell on the negative, but it was a nice experience doing that. And I remembered a lot of things that I forgot during the process. So it was, I might actually record some more commentary tracks if I get my writer, Lenny Schwartz, to come back. He would do it in a heartbeat too. I don't think he needs his own commentary track probably. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to do. And that's going to be something that's available soon as a bonus feature for people that purchase it. So we'll see. And I'm going to move on. This is not going to be my shameless plug segment, but I just wanted to say that's what I did this past week. It was enjoyable to go back to that film.
That sounds like fun. Cool. Yeah.
Good times.
So yeah, let's move on to a little bit of what we've been watching this week. I had a busy week of watching some films and TV, but I'm going to pass the buck first of all, because I think Ellie, you've been watching some things that we've both seen, and I'm going to hand it off to you. Tell me some things that you go first.
Yeah, of course. In between my breaks of studying and cooking and cleaning and working my full-time job and going to the supermarket, I sat down to watch actually few things. I actually watched, I'm gonna probably say it wrong, but Causeway.
Oh, Causeway. So what is that? I don't know what that is.
So Jennifer Lopez is the lead actor in the movie, and Joshua Buckley is in there too. And the story is about, so basically she's an army soldier who's come home from Afghanistan, and her her truck was bombed, so she's in recuperation. And it's the story of how she has to get back to the life that she knew. And it's like a drama. It's just, it's just her struggle of getting back to her daily life, It was filmed from 2022. For lack of not finding another film that I really want to see, I decided to watch it, and I actually liked it. I wasn't like, oh my God, what a great film. I love Jennifer. Right. I think she's one of my favorite actresses. So anything she does, I'm going to love. And she's so amazing. She's such an amazing actress that makes you feel every moment that she's going through. And I felt every moment of her heartbreak of being who she is now, and trying to get over her whole family history, because her mom is not, she drinks alcohol, and, her brother is in jail, and he's a mute, the brother.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I didn't quite understand the story between the brother and the sister. There's a moment in the film that she comes to visit him in jail, and everything, the whole period is done in sign language. And I don't know sign language, so I didn't quite understand what was going on. But what was great about that moment is that you probably don't need to understand too much sign language, because the emotions that they portray tells you so much about it, about what they're maybe talking about.
Right, you can feel the emotion through the character and the way they're like
exactly
behaving.
So
yeah.
Even though I don't know sign language, them, their facial expressions, the movements of their bodies, all of that, brought me in. And I'm like, oh my God, it's such a vulnerable and lovely moment between brother and sister, And so it's just a good film movie, nothing big, but it's an independent film, I think. And I think this is the director Lila, and I can't say her last name, Neugebauer, something like that. And it's her directorial debut film, I believe.
Oh wow, okay.
Neugebauer?
Yeah, I think Neugebauer, I guess. Yeah, there you go. And it's so I'm not gonna say it's like up there with the big films that I've seen this past year, but it's definitely has it been nominated? I think it's been nominated for the Oscar too.
Was it? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I feel like it was one of the nominations.
Yes, best performance by an actor in supporting role, Brian Tyree Henry.
Yes, oh my God, he's awesome. I really liked him.
Well, this is on my list now because I haven't seen this yet, and I am trying to catch up on as many movies that were nominated. So yeah,
I really loved it. It's a normal story of people that you could go through that, and it's the story of this veteran soldier. She's trying to. The fun part, the thing is, she hates it where she's at so much that she starts to exercise and work out because she wants to be redeploy.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Right.
And she doesn't understand that you can't go back. You're not well, But yeah, I really loved it. And so I also watched the Pamela Anderson documentary. I know.
What more does society have to learn about Pam Anderson? Please let me.
Good contrast between the two films.
Listen. Maybe because I'm a mom and she has two sons, and I have a son, I connected to the documentary. But I did.
What is it called?
I think it's Pamela Anderson. No.
No. Okay.
Is it Pamela Anderson?
Is it Pam and Tommy?
No, that's Pam and Tommy is it's so funny. Pam and Tommy is the Hulu series.
Oh, okay.
And gotcha.
I do not want to watch this. I would not watch this. I don't want to watch it.
You sure you didn't watch Barbed Wire?
No. Oh, God.
Oh wow, Barbed Wire. I never saw the film, but I saw the trailer for it. That was like 1995, wasn't it?
Dude, I never saw
around there.
Barbed Wire, man. Damn, I remember that.
No.
I remember that vividly.
Next week on Back to the Frame Rate, we're reviewing Barbed Wire.
Barbed Wire.
Anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent. Yes,
you guys are funny, but here's the thing. I knew you guys were gonna like exactly. I knew you were gonna react this way. But here's the thing. Hear me out, okay? There's a part in the documentary. I actually got teary-eyed. I did. I crying. And I'm thinking like, why am I crying? It's Pamela Anderson. But I think it's there's so much pain that we don't know a person's life, right? Until we know a person's life. We know about a person's life because the magazines tells us.
Right.
They are. Because the paparazzi, the tabloids. But we don't really know what a person is going through behind all of that, and her story is really one of those, like how she grew up, how she was abused. She seemed very naive. She's Canadian. Not that the Canadians are naive, because I'm a naive person myself, but I can connect in how she can be so naive about life and about people that she would trust anyone. And I have been in that situation where I trust everybody and I'm naive about people. But what I love most about the documentary is that she was given a part in Chicago, the play. And she went to Broadway, and she did a great job, and it's like one of those like endings where, oh my God, you're rooting for her, that she does well in the play, and she did, And
it sounds like it's an insightful documentary too, that tries to like get to know her and really go into who she is, as opposed to like what you were saying before, all the periphery of the media stuff, Yeah,
and she's she left her career. What I love about it is that she, as a mom, decided to give her life and her attention to both her boys. And I don't think there's anything more rewarding than you giving up what you love or your life to raise your kids, And you see Pamela with no makeup, her hair not done, just really raw. And she's a beautiful woman, but it's we pass judgment on people, and we don't really know their stories. And I really love documentaries like this because, whether people like her or don't approve of what she does, and the poor woman's been looking for love everywhere and gotten married so many times, and she even says in the documentary, maybe I'll get married again. And her kids, one of her sons says, yeah, she's a hopeless romantic, she'll probably get married again before she's 80 years old, so but yeah, so it's very for me, it was I loved her story, watching it from the mom's point of view,
that perspective for sure. I hear that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And then the last thing I saw,
and I want to say also, that's called Pamela Anderson, A Love Story, and that's on Netflix.
Yes, yeah, and her whole documentary is based on all the journals that she wrote since she was young. basically. And she wrote a book too. So kudos to her, kudos to her for coming out of such a turmoil life that she had, and raising her kids to be good kids. They're good kids, and that's all you want as a mom, to raise kids that are amazing and kind. And the last thing I saw was it's a series on Apple TV. It's called Shrinking.
I saw this too.
Oh my God, you guys, if you have not seen, okay, Sam, if you have not seen it, see it. Okay, did you see?
I haven't seen it.
Ted Lasso. Did anyone see Ted Lasso?
Yes, same creators of Ted Lasso.
Yes. And I love it because I love Ted Lasso, and it's the same creators come out and they do Shrinking, and I love it. I love Harrison Ford in this show.
Well, we're going to differ on that because
of course we are.
I think Harrison, I love Harrison Ford, but I'm finding Harrison Ford he is sleepwalking through this role. And this has me actually kind of worried for Indiana Jones. And I know he's probably going to bring the goods in that movie. At least I'm hoping he does, but I don't know what Harrison Ford is doing. I feel like he just rolled out of bed onto the set, and he could not. This is the most curmudgeon version of Harrison Ford I have seen, and he's already like that guy. And it's like,
I'm not.
I can tell that,
and it's like,
Ellie...
oh my God, they wrote this role for him. Like, can you be like this grumpy guy that just hates life and like hold my beer. I mean, it's giving me like a little migraine right here just thinking about what he's bringing to this role. And it's not a major part of the show, but it's just enough where I am debating whether I'm going to stick with it. I think there have been 3 episodes aired so far. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ellie.
No, but you think he's fragile in this show?
And by the way, as when you said that you thought that he was phoning in his performance,
oh my God,
people listening to this podcast can't see this, but Ellie was in such strong disagreement with you that she spit out her water. She was shocked by your comments. So clearly, she thinks Harrison Ford's.
How dare you?
I have not seen it. I cannot comment. I'm a Harrison Ford fan, but I cannot add a perspective because I don't have one yet.
He doesn't even come close to a smile in the first 3 episodes. Not that he's supposed to, because that is the character. He is.
Yeah.
This is the man that has got baggage, and we're learning. I'm sure by the end of this season, we're going to learn a lot more about his character and why he is the way he is. But right now, I do not want to spend another scene with his character.
I love Harrison, and he's playing the part that he's been given, and I think that he's doing a great job because of his age. Like, I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying, Nathan. I am not gonna agree with you right out. I'm not gonna agree with you. Jason Segel, I love him too. He's funny as heck. Okay.
Jason Segel's doing good work. He's doing the work that you've seen a dozen other times before. He plays the sad sack puppy dog like you've seen him in half a dozen other movies, but he's so good at that.
Yes, he is.
He is very good at that. He is cast great in this.
He is.
In this show, and I like him. I've always liked Jason Segel. He takes some chances in some films I really appreciate. But I'm not seeing anything from this show that is like, I see them trying to recapture a similar formula of Ted Lasso. And there are a lot of themes that are crossing over.
Yeah, I do agree on that. And I think Ted Lasso is so unique. Ted Lasso's Ted Lasso, that show is just up there for me, So I'm still finding my way around Shrinking. So I think it's only been 3 episodes so far, and I've enjoyed them. I mean, I'm not going to compare them to Ted because I don't think they're at that level, but I like it.
We'll see. Okay. All right, let's Sam, you got something you want to tell us about from this week that you've seen?
I will. Yeah. Because I've been editing a lot this week and sort of been like a slave to my computer a little bit, I've managed to get to HBO during the wee hours. And the reason for that is when you're, making like YouTube content, in my case, it's like a travel, hiking adventure show. It's a good idea to film a whole bunch of content before because it's supposed to come out every Friday. It's been catching up to me where I am in the footage has been like, I have to release it each week. And so it's been catching up to me a little bit. I didn't realize what a train it was going to be. And so I've been watching HBO at like 2:00 in the morning. And I actually watched a favorite of mine. I bumped into it the other night, Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World, the Peter Weir film about the HMS Surprise with lucky Captain Jack Aubrey, played by Russell Crowe. And that movie came out just about 20 years ago, November 2003. And over the years, it's grown on me every year. Every time I see that movie, I like it more and more and notice more detail. And I think Peter Weir is an incredible director. And I would maybe put that film in my top 20 films. I mean, I just love it. So that's all I've seen this week. Shows, anything like that.
But Master Commander's a great film. Peter Weir, amazing director that needs to get out of director's jail. And I don't know why he is. I don't know why. I don't know if there's any.
What happened with? I don't know. What? Yeah.
I don't know. He did a movie. I don't know. I don't know. I just hear rumors that he's just is in director's jail. Really?
You mean like in trouble or just?
No, I don't really know. No, he didn't get in trouble, but I don't think I really don't really know what happened, but I think he should be working like crazy. And I don't understand what happened. I don't think he's that old. So I don't know if he just kind of decided to leave the industry. He's in his mid-70s, I believe. But
the last movie I saw of his, and I think it was, I can't remember the title, but
I think it is Master and Commander is the last thing that.
No, there was a 2010 film that he did where these prisoners escape like through Siberia.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
I think it's The Way Out or something like that. That was decent.
The Way Back with Colin Farrell, Ed Harris.
The Way Back. That's it. And it was good.
I never saw it.
It wasn't quite as focused as Master and Commander is one of those movies where you get to enjoy like attention to detail and like the Navy war tactics, the naval war tactics, and just it's just so well crafted. The sound design is amazing. It's just a pleasure to watch that movie. So that's what I've seen this week. Other than that, just editing and working basically.
Okay. Well, I
think I'm starting to see the type of movies you like, Sam. Yeah.
Sorry?
I'm starting to see what kind of movies you like now.
Yes. Epic. Yeah. Just like large scale, ensemble cast.
Yeah.
Love those movies.
So I had a very busy week of watching some things, and I'm not even going to mention everything because I don't think we have enough time for it. Might save some of those stories for next week, but I'm going to start off with a conversation. Listeners of the show don't know this, but after last week's show, we had a conversation after our recording, like, what are we going to watch this week? And one of the things that came up with, and we ended up shooting it down, probably shouldn't have, was the I think it's a Netflix comedy called You People. And we were going back and forth on on Messenger, like, should we watch this? And I said, no, it's going to be like this stupid, like, guess who's coming to dinner woke movie, and it's going to be awful. And I decided, all right, the heck with it. I'm going to watch this anyways. And I thought it was really funny. I actually was impressed. I know, Ellie, you could make fun of me now.
Surprise.
I know. This is a new feature from Kenya Barris, who is known mostly from his television work as the creator of Blackish, Grownish, Mixedish, all the ishes. He wrote Girls Trip a few years ago, which actually I kind of liked it, I remember. But he also did the sequel to Coming to America, which I think is a crime against cinema. I really did not like that film.
I haven't seen the second film.
Oh my God.
The first movie, classic. Like,
it is, but I
have not seen the second. Yeah.
The sequel, there's so much I hate about that movie.
Well, I didn't see it too.
Ellie, you saw this, right?
I didn't see Coming to America too.
No, You People.
Oh my goodness, You People. Yeah. Of course, yeah.
So on the surface, I think this appears to be like a conventional rom-com, but I think this movie has something more to say. It's kind of disguised as this Guess Who's Coming to Dinner-esque retread, but it's about the story of this couple. They're played by Jonah Hill and Lauren London, who fall in love, and before they can get married, of course, they have to meet the parents. This, of course, it's not covering new territory. We've seen this in movies like Meet the Parents. However, the scenes where they meet Jonah's parents, I think it's Jonah's. His name is Ezra, and his family is Jewish in the film, which is a major plot point. Now, I'm Jewish, though. A lot of the humor that's thrown around, I thought was really hysterical. His mom, played by Julie Louis-Dreyfus, I thought she was hysterical, and the some of the things that comes out of her mouth, they're extremely offensive, but I know people in my family and people in the Jewish community that behave just like her. So this, they did a really good job of, kind of encapsulating some of the stereotypes of, I guess, I don't know if this is offensive, but some of the stereotypes of the people that I have met from, families that I've known, in my family, I should say, maybe. But anyways, I digress. But it's perfect casting. So she's overjoyed that her son is dating a black woman, possibly unwittingly sees this opportunity to show her off to her high society friends as being woke and progressive. But his dad is played by David Duchovny, who doesn't say anything, but I think he steals like every scene he's in. He doesn't. It's also great casting. And I haven't even begun to mention Eddie Murphy yet. He has one of the best introductions of any film I've seen in years, when he strolls into the room wearing this Fred Hampton was murdered sweatshirt. And his character Akbar, and they're a family of Muslims, and he looks just like Malcolm X in the movie, with the goatee, the beard. And Eddie is so restrained in this film. You're not getting this slapstick silliness, goofy Eddie Murphy. He's a real fleshed out character. He's not, doing any Norbert character or anything like that. I really loved Eddie Murphy in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. This film it's just really funny. There's great one-liners in this. I did watch this alone, and I found myself laughing out loud quite often, which is very rare for me. And at its heart, it's more than just a conventional rom-com. It does fall into a lot of the pitfalls that rom-coms do in the third act, I thought. But I think this film does have a strong thesis, and at its core, it's really about, it's hard for black people and white people to be friends, is really what it's trying to say. And I like that it's bringing up this dialogue and trying to explore that in this film. So it's much better than I ever thought this film could be.
I mean, it's funny because what I love about the film is that it shows, the reality of when you have interracial relationships with someone and how the family, feels about it. Like, for example, in my family, we being Latinas, my brother married a girl from what's it called? Not from Linfield, which is a predominantly white, community, and when my brother moved in with her, she's half Irish and Italian, and he was outside mowing the lawn, and his neighbor, and she was born in Linfield, her neighbor comes out and says, "Hey, where did you get the landscaper? I could use a landscaper. What's his name?"
Yep.
My sister-in-law says, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's my boyfriend." And the dentist was so like, "I am so sorry. I didn't know. Oh, I thought he was your last." So you see how like the stereotypes and and it's you have to adapt. You have to adapt to the family, and the family vice versa has to adapt to the new person. So
yep. And I'll say one other thing that I've watched this week as I want to move along is I've been watching Poker Face, which is a new Peacock show, which stars Natasha Lyonne and this is created by Ryan Johnson, which is this. I'm hooked on this show. This is fantastic. It's basically if you like shows like Columbo or Murder, She Wrote, it's a throwback to 70s, 80s style kind of murder mysteries where the crime is shown to you, who died, who did it, and Natasha Lyonne is basically a drifter who kind of stumbles into the scene, and her superpower is basically that she can tell whenever anybody is lying. She just knows. She has like a sixth sense. So she can always, so basically she solves mysteries this way. And that's what I love about it. It's not a serial. It's just kind of like episodic where it's like the mystery of the week, which is a nice breath of fresh air. I feel like, we're in this era of serialized TV where you need to like always tune in every single episode. It appears that this is going to be a show that's a throwback to like Columbo style shows where you can just kind of like tune in and see, what is the murder that she's solving this week. I think there's going to be a slight through line to the show, but this is really, really good stuff. And Ryan Johnson wrote and directed the first episode, but he created the show, and it's really, really good. And it looks like it's going to have awesome guest stars, like Adrian Brody was in the first episode. John Ratzenberger actually has a small role in the second episode. It's fantastic, and right now it's streaming on Peacock.
I'm gonna have to check that out, Nathan.
It's fantastic.
No, I love anything detective and murder. Like I watch Discovery Channel every single day. And that actually reminds me, I started watching on Apple TV the Truth Be Told. Octavia, what's her name?
Is that Octavia Spencer?
Octavia Spencer.
Yeah.
And by the third episode, I just couldn't continue it. I couldn't get through it. I don't know. And I really love shows like this, but I don't know. I
highly recommend this one. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to check that one out.
All right. Well, that's what we have all been watching over the last week. Let's move on to our main review.
Leslie, how does it feel to win such a life-changing sum of money?
Oh, well, I feel a hell of a lot better than yesterday.
What do you plan to do with 190,000 smackaroos?
I don't know, maybe buy a house, buy something nice for my boy, just have a better life.
Save my soul, ran through the night, lost in the woods I want to be a good mama again.
She just blew all that money. Yeah? Yeah. Where's she been?
I won the lottery. I was the one who won the lottery.
Help yourself. You always do. Ain't them derelicts you spit on. We ain't partying no more.
Chasing the pavement.
Things don't go the same way for any two people, and I don't think any less of you for having the problems you do.
Been down this road, not
You know what? It's my life.
I might look stupid to you.
You don't.
Yeah, well, I ain't one for letting people get over on me.
Hey, hey.
I'm not gonna do this again. Windows are dirty.
The town tries to avoid me like the plague, and my boy doesn't want to see me. He ain't never gonna speak to me again.
Try to be good, yeah, try to be real.
Y'all remember Leslie, don't you? Helen Raymond's little girl.
But you don't gotta worry about me because, despite your best effort, I ain't going nowhere.
Angels are falling down on me.
Good Christian people raised you right. You ruined that sweet boy's life.
And what did you do to stop me?
So don't walk away, you can count.
Tell me I'm good.
Now, we're gonna pull the curtain aside here. We were all, like I said before, after our recording last week, we were trying to figure out what we were gonna watch, and at one time we thought we were all gonna watch You People. We actually were gonna try to watch Knock at the Cabin. Now all of us could get to the theater this past week, so there appeared to be a little miscommunication about what we were all going to watch, and I proposed we watch To Leslie, but apparently Ellie didn't understand
The assignment.
the assignment, I guess we should say, which it's not a big deal because I don't think she would have wanted to see it anyways. It sounds like it was not her jam when she found when she saw the trailer for this originally. So she is going to abstain from this conversation, I guess, and me and Sam are going to talk about this briefly. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll get there. It's only our second episode. We're learning.
Nathan, I truly thought you were talking about a Leslie person, not the Leslie movie.
Yes, my good friend Leslie. Yeah.
So let's hear what you guys think about it. Because I was not sold on this. I saw the trailer and I'm like, nope, not buying it.
I thought it was well done. I thought Andrea Riseborough, who played Leslie, did a really good job. It's a kind of a slow moving character study drama, not necessarily a film that I would be strongly drawn to on my own, but after seeing it, I solidly enjoyed it. I don't feel strongly passionate about it, but I thought it was a good film, well acted. My favorite aspect of it probably was Allison Janney is like an angry, I thought she was really good in it. But yeah, that's
it.
I can understand, why you were not hugely excited about the film.
Okay, need I say any more?
It was good. I enjoyed it. I watched it. I would have rather watched Master and Commander again or played video games, but I watched it.
I watched The Notebook.
But it wasn't bad. I did enjoy it. I just yeah.
When I saw this, there's a lot of it I did like. I think I like the way that this movie was paced in a lot of ways. The opening, it showed the movie like how she won the money in the beginning, and I think we should give a little bit of background on this film. So basically this movie is, I forget what's her name in this, but there's a mom. She's a single mom, and I like how that it never really explains about
her name is the title of the movie, Leslie. Right?
Oh my God, yes. This is it's 10 o'clock at night.
The passion.
Shut up, Sam. All right.
This film.
Everyone, leave me alone. All right.
Okay.
Anyway, so Leslie, 6 years ago wins $190,000 in the lottery, which is kind of interesting because that's a lot of money, but it's not like some grand jackpot either. But for somebody living, I guess this is Texas, I think it is.
Yes, Texas.
It's not, but this is huge money for her, obviously. This is going to set her up, could set her up for a long time. And the beginning of the movie is shown in like video footage, or like TV footage of her, and she is ecstatic that she won this, and she is going to buy herself a new life. I love how this starts with this triumphant moment, and then it thrusts you forward 6 years later, and she is, I think she's at a bar immediately or in bed, but she is already rock bottom at this point. Her son, who I think is like 18 or 19 years old, has left her. She has basically alienated everybody in her life. She has nothing left, and it thrusts you into the present. And so that all of that celebratory moment, it's just ripped away from her and us, the audience, immediately. And it's a very jarring cut. She is on the hunt. She's looking for a hookup and really just looking for a handout, I think, more than anything. So she is really sad and depressed and starts to reconnect with her son, who I think is, like I said, 18 or 19, finds him, moves in with him, and he is laying down house rules that it seems to be wanting to be on her best behavior. But it's clear that the moment that he leaves to go off to work, she is going to start boozing again, and she cannot keep her promise of being sober like he wants her to be. Because apparently one of the reasons why everything fell apart in her life is that she just drank all the money away. So this is a story of somebody that when they won the money, they just didn't know how to handle their life. And
I think the movie did do a good job at showing the brutal reality of her day-to-day lifestyle, like one day at a time, not knowing where she was going to sleep, sleeping in that like abandoned ice cream shop. It was good. It was well done. And like, I enjoyed the movie. Again, the style of the film is not necessarily my particular genre. I tend to go towards like suspense and like sci-fi and action. That's just me as a person, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was well done. I did not feel extremely passionate about it, but I will say a spoiler-free comment that I was involved enough and I liked the characters enough that there was a very strong emotional payoff at the end. That's all I'll say, that I found it was like got me sort of tearful. So it was good. It was well done. It just,
you mentioned Allison Janney, who is always fantastic.
She's amazing, incredible. I love her in The West Wing, one of my favorite shows. Yeah. And
she is, I don't know if, is it her husband or partner, Stephen Root, is in this and playing, I don't know if that's supposed to be Leslie's dad or not. He is a brutal man in this, which is unusual, unusual casting for him. But Allison, her mom, is wonderful in this. And I didn't know if that was, at first I didn't know if I liked her in this. But it does come full circle has a good payoff.
It comes full circle, has a really good payoff. And I liked her a lot because it was so different from the types of characters that I see Allison Janney play. Even though she plays lots of different types of characters, she had moments of such like vicious anger in this film that I hadn't particularly seen from her before, and the things that I'd seen. So the fact that she was in the movie made me like it a lot more.
Mm-hmm. And another standout.
Mark Maron was good.
Mark Maron, oh my God, the hotel manager. He was incredible. I remember he was in the show Glow as well. I don't know if you saw Glow, but
didn't see that. No.
His character had so much empathy. He is trying to help Leslie at a major point in this movie, and he has so much patience for her. in this. And I'm not going to give too much away, but I'm watching him, and he has the level of patience and empathy that he has. And he's such a wonderful actor. I really love the work he was putting in this. And he did not get a Best Supporting nomination. He would have been the actor that I would have appreciated seeing get a nomination more than Andrew Riseborough, because he does some incredible work in this. And it's painful watching Mark's character as he's assisting Leslie in this, because you think that he is going to get worked over completely in this film.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's what I did like about it, just the realization that, I mean, that no one could basically rely on her given her situation and like her alcoholism. And it was just very like, that was powerful because it was well done and not sensationalized.
Yeah. There was a scene that really stood out for me. Again, not really giving anything away, but she hits a point where it's so low. She goes back to her old home, her original home, I guess, where a new family walks in, where a new family's living. She walks in, and you can tell because she first goes outside, and there's a tree where she's carved in the words Leslie. I think it was maybe her son's name was on it or something like that. And a heartbreaking scene where she's just walking around. And again, people have so much patience for her. The woman that's living in this home lets her walk in and just kind of like walk around. It's like, is there somebody I can call for you? It's, I feel like maybe this is some sort of Texas hospitality that I was unaware of, but it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The leeway that she gets and what she gets away with on this, that she able to walk right in. But it's, I had this pit in my stomach as I'm watching this, that this is not going to end well. It was a tough watch. It was a tough watch at time, thinking like where this was going to go. But
yeah, like I solidly enjoyed it. I don't think it reinvented any wheel. Like I mean, I've seen movies like that before, so I would say like solid, like B+. Like I solidly enjoyed it. But I don't feel strongly about the movie, if that makes sense.
No, it does get into some without giving anything away at the end. I feel that Leslie's third act does kind of get into a bit of a conventional third act in some ways.
There's a little bit of that like Deus Ex Machina kind of like
little bit of a bow tie.
Yeah. I definitely felt that. It felt like 2 acts of pure brutal realism and a third act that I enjoyed, and I like,
but
happy endings, but it was like bow tie, yeah.
But it's not fully a bow tie, because I think that no matter what, she has alcoholism is a real disease, and she is never going to be out of the woods.
Right.
And I think that even up until the last minute, there is a moment where she has a choice.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.
To do something, and she doesn't, and which could have definitely affected an interaction that happens in the end, which was a key moment for how the final scene goes. it's difficult to talk about this without spoiling it, but it's you can see that she easily could have made the wrong decision right before she sees some people. And the next time that happens, she could easily take the bottle and something terrible is going to happen. So this is not necessarily a happy ending.
Yeah, she could always relapse.
For this film, yes, but tomorrow, next week, I could easily see her, this whole project that she is going into could easily fall apart. But I think the people that are around her she found potentially a network.
Yeah, she did she's got like a good like safety network of people. And also like I don't think it was too much of a bow tie ending. Like it wasn't too sentimental. It was realistic. I was aware of the mechanisms of the third act, but because I enjoyed the characters and had been with her on the journey, I was happy to see, the positive things that were beginning to happen in her life. Like it was an optimistic ending, a hopeful ending.
Yep.
Which is good. Not everything is solved, but there's, tomorrow's another day. That's always a good message.
Yep.
As opposed to a film that's like, life sucks. Like you'll be charged a lot for everything. Like pay your taxes, go to sleep, and wake up and keep your head down, you bastard.
All right. Well, that's our thoughts on To Leslie. It sounds like this was probably not your favorite kind of movie. It wasn't necessarily mine either, and maybe we'll find something with a little bit more meat on the bone for next week, and maybe Ellie will get the memo next week, and we'll have a more of a three-way conversation.
I'm getting an A+ next week. What are you talking about?
Next week, Nathan will choose, dude, where's my car? And then Ellie will be like, I thought you were asking me where your car was. You wanted us to watch that? Oh, I thought you didn't know where your car was.
I am so literal. I will the way you say it, it's the way I'm going to take it.
I totally understand.
I'm just going to send you a JPEG of the movie poster. Like, watch this.
No, seriously though, Nathan, that's exactly what you have to do, because you'll be like, no, this is.
I'm going to send you a link of the movie.
But the scary thing is like.
And buy you your ticket to the screening if I have to. Be here now.
I feel you, Ellie. I feel you, because we both know that behind the scenes, like Nathan is a real tyrant. He's like, "You guys are gonna do this podcast well, or I'm gonna set your house on fire." I'm like, "Whatever you want."
Exactly.
The audience has no idea.
Yeah,
it's a horror film altogether.
It is. It really is. But we survive one day at a time, with hope in our hearts.
Yes, with hope in our hearts.
All right, let's move on. You know what? Before we get to our news story of the week, I just, I was looking at a couple of filmversaries. Did you know that over the past week, it was the 35th anniversary of The Wonder Years premiering on ABC?
That's amazing.
Anybody?
What a great show that was. I loved that show when I was growing up. Yeah.
And that in 1988, when that premiered, the show took place 20 years prior to that in 1968. So that means that if that show was on now, it would be showing the events of 2003.
That's just crazy to me. Because even though 2003 is 20 years ago, it literally is. It's like the 60s felt so much more distant in the early 80s. But I was also like a little kid. I do vividly remember, though, the season finale of Wonder Years, or the finale of the whole show in spring of 1993. I was in 5th grade, and like that was a big deal. Like everyone watched the final episode and talked about it the next day. Must see television back in the day.
And another filmversary. We just had Groundhog Day, and Punxsutawney Phil did see a shadow, predicting another 6 weeks of winter. However, he's only been correct 39% of the time.
Oh, wow.
So you're probably better off with him seeing a shadow. Anyways, but
only 39%? God, what an idiot.
But my point is that on February 14th, Valentine's Day, marks the 30th anniversary of the film Groundhog Day.
Oh, wow.
And that's 30 years.
That with what's his face there? What's his name?
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. Yeah.
So I just can't believe it's 30 years. And
that was an amazing film.
I probably watch Groundhog Day almost every year. It's one of the few films I never can get enough of.
I love that movie. I think it's a classic. I was just reading an article about it on my phone recently. I knew nothing about this. Apparently, Bill Murray and Harold Ramis had like really strong disagreements on that film, and their friendship was strained. And it was like a big, like they fought their way through that movie, which is amazing to me because it's an excellent film. You know, you never would have known.
I just have a question.
According to the article, yeah.
Is Groundhog Day only in the states that have different seasons, or all over the United States?
I believe
it's just the United States in general. Yeah. I think,
yeah,
because I mean, where I come from, we don't have Groundhog Day, so first time I heard groundhog, I had no idea what they were talking about. Like ground.
Yeah, I think it's just a traditional thing here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not missing much because, as we've established, Puxatawny Phil is not the brightest bulb in the shack.
No.
Even though I'd be friendly to Phil if I met him. I'd be like, "Oh, hello, you know, this is a groundhog. I'd feed it some chips or something."
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Groundhog.
Only in America would we.
I guess so, because you know, it's like, I mean, in my country, it's always like 100 degrees. So it's like,
I think it would be like funny and horrible if he came out one day and they just were like, "Nope, the tradition is over," and they just like caged it and drove off of it and was like, "That's the end of your tradition."
Who came up with that tradition, though?
I don't know. I just like random shock value humor. Like, I think it would be hilarious. Like, this is total non sequitur, and I'll just say this quick, but like if you had a movie like the Thor franchise or some huge hero like Indiana Jones or Thor or Wonder Woman, some important character that had a death scene that completely denied the audience any like emotional respect or anything. I'm saying like if like Thor is running along and some giant elephant just like tramples him, and that's it, and the movie just goes on, and you're like, what? Thor, this beloved character for like 8 films, and he's just dead. What? Like, I have always wanted to see something that just shocks and insults the audience, and it'd be hilarious one time, but that film will never get made because it just wouldn't happen. But it would be funny. I don't actually want it to happen, but I like pretending in my mind.
You'll have pizza people around the cinema, or testing that film.
Or like Indiana Jones, he's just like walking along and he like stubs his toe and just like falls off he's like in a rock quarry and he goes, "Oh," and he just falls down a canyon. That's it. That's the end of Indiana Jones. Not even a close-up shot. He's like in the background of a wide shot, slips through a hole, and that's
like
it.
a 3 or 4 minute movie. And
yeah. Or like Finding Nemo. It's like 70% of Finding Nemo like normal. Then at the end, the fish just gets like caught up into a boat propeller, and it's like and the end credits just roll.
Yeah.
Wow.
So horrible.
You are twisted.
Yeah. I truly am twisted.
Have you had your dinner yet today?
I have not had dinner yet tonight. Yeah. I'm empty stomach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's move things along here. That way we can get you some food.
But I wish Nemo no harm. I very much like that fish.
Oh.
All right, let's move on to our next segment, the trades, where we cover a recent news story going on in the entertainment world. Over the last week, at least I found this interesting, and maybe to the chagrin of everybody else here, but James Gunn is resetting the DC universe. And this came out, this information came out about 5 days ago, I think January 31st. Or February 1st, something like that. First of all, does anybody care here?
I do. I think it could be great, and he's certainly an amazing visualist with a vision. You know what I mean? So I think he's a great director. I just have no idea what his plans are. I know nothing about it, save for the fact that he got rid of Henry Cavill. He got Superman is no longer that actor.
Henry
right?
Cavill,
Henry Cavill
has been reportedly ousted as Superman, but there has been maybe a caveat to that. I'm going to get to that in a moment. But before we get to that, any reflections on the Snyderverse, now that that is going to be put to bed after the next slew of films? We got the upcoming, we got The Flash, we got Blue Beetle, you got the Aquaman movie I know you're looking forward to. I think, is there anything else I'm missing in that slate of films?
I don't know. There's a lot that I don't know of. I like the Aquaman movie so much just because its tone was lighter. It felt more like a Marvel movie to me, to be quite honest.
Is there some Brave and the Bold?
Well, yes. So there have been 5 feature films that have been announced amongst 5 TV shows as well. Some of them are animated, some of them are live action. Because there's so much we could dive into. I say we don't get fully into like all the TV shows and animated series because we could talk for another hour about that. But let me just go over the 5 films that have been announced. The first, of course, is Superman, which you mentioned, I think, about a month or so ago, called Superman Legacy. And this already has a release date of July 11th, 2025. And there are speculations that James Gunn actually could direct this himself. We also have The Authority. I know nothing about what The Authority is going to be. We have The Brave and the Bold, which is supposedly going to be Batman's introduction to the DCU. Yep. We got Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and we have Swamp Thing. So let's just do this quickly one by one. So we have Superman Legacy, and so Henry Cavill will not be Superman, is what we do know. And by the way, this whole franchise is being called Gods and Monsters. He's that's what he's coining the this first phase 1, I guess, if we want to compare it to Marvel. He's calling it Gods and Monsters. Ellie, what were you about to say?
No, I'm saying I'm pretty bummed out that Superman is not going to be my Superman.
Yeah, well, apparently the whole idea is that he wants to cast younger for these roles because he wants to. The whole point is that he wants to cast actors for probably 8 to 10 year contracts.
Yeah, probably.
Because if he wants to have a Superman, he probably wants to. And the idea is that this Superman is going to be telling the story of this character at a younger age, like Superman year 1, year 2. So probably somebody who's around their mid-20s or so. Henry Cavill, I think, is 39 years old right now.
Yeah.
And by the time this next Superman movie comes out, the guy's going to be in his early 40s. And over the next 10 years, as they make Superman movies, he's going to be into his 50s. So if you really think about it, for this new reboot, it doesn't make sense for Henry Cavill. However, he has already, this is really geeking out, but Gunn has hinted at a Superman multiverse in his recent tweet. He posted on his Twitter page an image of Superman, the Superman Space Age comic, which deals with a multiverse catastrophe, and there's an image of multiple Superman. So there's a speculation that there's a chance Henry Cavill could end up reprising his role in this new universe. Ooh. Perhaps even Brandon Routh, maybe Dean Cain, Tom Welling. This could be going the Spider-Man No Way Home route, because they already are introducing with the new Flash movie, multiple Batman, because you're gonna have Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton in that, reprising their Batman roles. So think about it.
That wouldn't be so bad. I like, that idea. I don't know.
It's not, so this may not be the main storyline, but I think there's speculation that this is where they're going, that a multiverse of these superheroes, which gives them the leeway of bringing these other actors from the Snyderverse back in if they want to. And I think the Flash movie is how they're spinning this, so that it resets the DC universe and allows them to create this multiverse. and that's the idea. So,
well, see, I think the good thing overall, even though I know very little about it, that I'm looking forward to is we've seen DC kind of flounder and be sort of hit or miss in recent years, where they're trying to create that kind of Marvel machine of interconnected stories and like character arcs flowing. And I think that whatever James Gunn does do, it's clear that he'll have some kind of unified vision. He's not just coming in there and saying, let's do this, let's make this. And I mean, I think he's trying to create, like you're saying, like a 10-year long narrative. So
yeah,
I look forward to it, even though I know nothing about it, just because I like him so much as an artist and what he's done with the Guardians movies. And he's such a great director that in general, I'm on board, even though I don't know what it is. I'm just glad that there's a mind and a vision over at DC that will hopefully create some spectacular entertainment.
I mean, I love what he did with Peacemaker and Suicide Squad. So I am actually looking forward to his vision. I'm excited about the new vision that he's got going there. So sorry.
Does anybody have any speculation or favorites that you'd like to see as the new Superman, or are we getting ahead of ourselves? Ooh. Any actors?
Boy, I have
somebody
no
young.
idea at the moment. Yeah, I'd have to think about that one.
There is some speculation that there's some online speculation for Glenn Powell, who I think he's a little old though if you remember him, he was in Top Gun Maverick.
Let's see.
He was a hangman, if you remember.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
He's one of the internet favorites. Jacob Elordi from Euphoria. I'm just going off of some of the websites that I've seen as sources. Jace Norman, who has a background with superheroes with Nickelodeon show Henry Danger. I've seen pop up on a lot of websites. And David Corenswet, who I know nothing about, but I keep seeing his name mentioned around.
What's his name? David websites. What?
David Corenswet. I've seen on like 5 or 6 websites as a fan choice as one of the favorites to play the next Superman. He's in his mid-20s right now, and you need this tall, young, strapping guy to obviously play Superman right now.
David looks a little bit like Henry.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him playing Superman.
Yep. So, like I said, James Gunn is writing this movie. It's not official that he's directing, but we'll see. I mean, he's also supposed to be making Peacemaker 2 in the next year or two, which I don't know if he's going to have time to do all this because he's laying the foundation for this universe. So I don't know how he's going to have time for all this. But I really hope he gets to do Peacemaker 2 because I really love that show.
That was an awesome show.
So we'll see.
Snyder, it's not. What's his name? Isn't he coming up with the True Detective series?
Oh, I don't know. Is that what Snyder's up to now?
I think so. I don't know if I saw that on Twitter or somewhere, but I remember seeing that he's working on the Green Lantern, I think.
Oh, I don't know. Well, in this new DC universe, there is going to be a Green Lantern show called Lanterns. I know that. I don't know much more about Lanterns.
Green Lanterns, yeah. But then I thought I read somewhere that he's gonna come up with a True Detective series on HBO. So
okay.
Up and coming. So I love True Detective.
That's cool. So second movie coming out is The Authority, a group of superheroes that think the world is broken. This is a comic book run that was published between 1999 and 2000. I know nothing about this. I'm not going to even speculate. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't know anything about The Authority. I've never read it. I'm assuming you guys don't know either.
No,
I do not.
Let's move on. We are turning in our geek cards right here. The next thing has me very excited. This is called The Brave and the Bold. It's the official introduction of Batman to the new DCU. It's the story of Batman and his son, Damon Wayne, who is believed to be the new Robin. We haven't seen Robin in a film in a long time, since the Joel Schumacher days of Batman and Robin. So it can't be any worse than Batman and Robin. So one thing we do know is Batman.
I'm sorry, Nathan. I do remember a Robin. Wasn't what's his name? That rapper there. Eminem.
Eminem, yes. But what does that have to do with Batman? Am I missing something here?
Wasn't he Robin? Or maybe that's just the video he created.
I don't know.
I don't pay attention to.
You're gonna have to give us your source on this.
I'm on it.
Okay. Well, Batman will not be played by Ben Affleck nor Robert Pattinson from the Matt Reeves films. This is a completely separate Batman, not associated with those franchises. So we'll see. By the way,
this is a completely separate DC Batman?
Yes. There are so many competing Batman universes going on here. We've got Robert Pattinson's Batman with Matt Reeves, and you have this whole thing with Joker going on, which is not associated apparently with the Matt Reeves universe. I think the Matt Reeves Batman is going to be a trilogy, is what I'm hearing about. That's going to be its own thing, kind of like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies.
Yeah, I know they're working on part 2 already.
Yeah, part 2, and I think that's going to be its own standalone thing. I think the Joker is going to be its own standalone thing. So I think that's the way that's going. So Batman Part 2 is coming out in 2025. So all these Batman movies are coming out all around the same time and all disassociated with each other. It's kind of messed up, but
yeah, which was more of a overarching form to that.
So yeah, lots of Batman coming our way.
No, never mind. That's Eminem dressed in a costume as Robin for one of his videos. Of course.
Okay.
I was wrong. Never mind.
All right. The fourth film coming out is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This is based off the 2021 8-issue release. It hasn't been around for very long, so I don't know if fans of the comic books are really going to get into this because it's such a fresh story. All I know is that James Gunn has revealed that unlike Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by a loving parents, Supergirl was raised on a chunk of Krypton floating in space and watched everyone in her life perish, and this made her a much more jaded character. So it's kind of the very different story of a Kryptonian than Superman. Any thoughts on Supergirl? Anyone a fan of the 1984?
I'm not a fan of
Supergirl.
I don't think I've seen the film, to be quite honest. Yeah.
I saw it long time ago, and I have almost no recollection of it. I don't think it was very good. I'm thinking about this. Is there a chance of some diversity with the casting for these movies as well? And I was thinking about Supergirl as an opportunity, to cast young and somebody of ethnicity for some of these roles. And I'm wondering if they're going to do some of that for these roles.
It would be nice to see that.
It would be nice. Yeah. And I was thinking of actors like Zendaya Coleman or
I love Zendaya.
Somebody like that as like Supergirl. I know she's in the MCU universe to some degree. Maybe like Kuvijane Wallace or something. She's a little young, but somebody I don't know. I'm wondering if they'll do something like that. I hope that they take some chances like that for some of these major roles. It would be kind of cool.
I hope so too. I'd be more drawn to the movie if they did. Because I know very little about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fifth movie.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.
I have to admit, is the one that I am most curious about and maybe the most excited for, because it's been 40 years. Well, it's not been 40 years since Swamp Thing has been on in the movies, but I love Swamp Thing. And this actually, I think James Mangold has signed on to direct. I don't know if that's official yet, but immediately I think the news broke that he is in talks and maybe has signed on. But he has got a great track record. One of our best working directors right now. Copland, Girl Interrupted, Walk the Line. He's done all the recent Wolverine movies, Logan, Wolverine. He did Ford versus Ferrari, and the upcoming Indiana Jones film. So getting Mangold to do Swamp Thing, I am legitimately excited for.
It's interesting, even though I don't know much about Swamp Thing, when you were mentioning all those titles, Swamp Thing caught my attention much more so than the others, and I just got more, I thought, ooh, this was like, because I remember it just something about it. Some of the other stuff, to me, there's so much superhero content in both DC and Marvel these days that I'm a little exhausted by it at times. Mm-hmm. And Swamp Thing just sounds fresh and exciting. And I don't know, he lives in a swamp, right? Or does he come from there? If there's a swamp in it, that sounds good.
My only the only thing that I'm upset about is that Guillermo del Toro isn't directing Swamp Thing. That would have been amazing. So
oh my
amazing.
God.
Exactly.
Yes. I would have. Yeah.
That would have been. They missed that boat. I don't know if he would do a franchise movie again. I don't know. Maybe he would. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so you know what I didn't realize until I was doing some research? I forgot about this. Wes Craven directed the original Swamp Thing. I completely forgot about this. This was before he did the movie he did before Nightmare on Elm Street. It was interesting. So Swamp Thing is going to be horror-focused film. And this is the whole point of this, I'm going to call it phase 1 of this DCU called Gods and Monsters. So it's kind of shaping out this way where it's going to
just the fact that it's horror focused too, to me, instantly gets my attention more. I mean, as someone who clearly does not know a lot about DC, so obviously take my opinion with a grain of salt, but Swamp Thing just seems to have more of a hook for me. Like, that interests me.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. So that is what's going on with the announcements for the DCU. And more and more news is coming out. Seems like every week as to who's going to be in these movies and directing these movies. So I'm going to keep an eye on that because I am very curious about what's happening over at DC. Even though I'm not as the hugest DC fan, I'm fascinated by what's happened over the last 10 years. It's been a beautiful train wreck with the Snyderverse in a lot of ways, and I am curious about what's going to happen over there now. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to a couple of recommendations because it's time to get to that. To tie into this week's theme, for those of us that did watch To Leslie, we had the story of a single mom, and I wanted to kind of pick something that was, like I said, tied in, and that was about single moms. And I wanted to challenge each of you to bring to our podcast this week one recommendation, to give to our audience about a film that included a single mom. So who would like to go first?
I I'll say, originally I was going to cheat, and I actually do have a movie. I was going to say Aliens because I love sci-fi, but even though it does not quite count because Newt is not, Ellen Ripley's daughter in that film. So Sigourney Weaver is kind of a single mom, but not really. So the movie that I picked is a 1996 thriller directed by Brian Gibson called The Juror, with Demi Moore, and her son is played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And it's funny, I have a personal bias towards this movie. I liked it a lot, but I mean, I just Googled it. It has like a 22% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but I saw it when I was like 15 years old. I was in Poland at the time, and I had like a really good experience. So there's kind of an attachment, but I just thought it was a good thriller. She's a single mom. She's protecting her kid. I'm sure there are like plenty of more higher quality sort of best picture oriented films in that department, but I like The Juror. Alec Baldwin is a villain that works for the mob, and I just found it suspenseful and well made. It's certainly not a deep film, but I recommended it just because I enjoyed it myself. And yeah,
I haven't seen this in a long time, but I remember. I almost have no memory of it, but I'm looking at the cover and like, how is this not a John Grisham based, movie? It looks like it should be.
It just was one of those movies that had, it's nothing incredible. It just has like sequences where like she finds out that her house is bugged, and so she and her son stop talking, and then you can like see Alec Baldwin in the dark, surrounded by all these speakers, aware that they've stopped talking. So there's like suspenseful scenes like that. There's a cool climax. I think it's like somewhere in South America where they like try to escape the mob, but they follow her and her son down there, and it's just like it's decent. It's totally like throwaway thriller, but it's
totally
fun.
Decent.
Yeah.
Well, that's Sam's glowing recommendation of The Juror, a totally decent film.
Yeah.
Ellie,
I had to pick that because of the the single mom thing. That's why I picked it. Otherwise, right. I'd recommend a movie that I really really like, but that was pretty good. Yeah,
we're gonna make sure that we have a good post-production meeting about what we're gonna recommend next week, so that we're not all disconnected on our recommendations and what we're gonna watch. So we feel strong about our recommendations next week. All right, Ellie, give me one recommendation. For by the way, The Juror, I believe it's not available for streaming anywhere, but it's on VOD, so you can get it on pretty much any of your VOD apps like Apple or where is it, like Google or Amazon. You can rent it. So, Ellie, give me one recommendation that you would like to share.
For me, I have to say it's The Room, or
not The Room. Room, I think you're trying to say.
Room.
Yes,
Yeah.
Very different movie.
Yeah, you're right. The Room is a different. It's Room, and it's the story of the young girl that got kidnapped when she was 17 years old, and she had to live in like basically a box room for years, until her son was about 5 years old, and she was able to manage to get him outside. And I don't want to give too much of the movie in case someone has not seen the movie, but it's just one of those movies that for me, it was the connection again, this mom, young girl, to survive, the will to survive in that room, and what she has to go through with her kidnapper every single day. He comes into that room to do whatever he wants for her, and the boy is right there watching and hearing, and he basically was born there in that room, and so she they have such a strong bond between mom and son. And I am a sucker for films that have a single mom and a son, because I'm a single mom with a son. So to me, I'm always attracted to those type of films, because it's that survivor sort of idea that a mom does, and and I always find them so heartfelt. And this movie,
you might have actually liked To Leslie. I'm just saying.
Ah,
You might have enjoyed it.
Trying to sell me. Trying to sell me to Leslie. No,
Because she is a single mom, so it had that strong element. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
no, thank you. No, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. I've seen too many films where the mom is an alcoholic because she's not.
Yeah,
Right?
she is, and she's like a depressing, like really like down the drain alcoholic, like can't do anything. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's grim.
yeah, and I think the mom, Bria Larson, I think it is.
Yeah.
Brie Larson. She does such a wonderful job in this film. And
She won Best Actress that year for this role.
There you go. She's wow. Yeah, I totally recommend this. If you have not watched Room, let me say it correctly, Room, I definitely recommend it. I think it's streaming on Netflix, right?
It's right now it's streaming on HBO-MAX.
Okay.
And you can also get it on Canopy for those of you who take advantage of your Canopy accounts. I actually do use that. It's you get free movies through your library. It's a great service.
For free, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Hulu too,
Yeah.
I think.
I didn't see it on Hulu, but I saw it on HBO-MAX. And
Actually, if you have a
Canopy.
Hulu subscription, you can watch it there.
Perfect.
And Amazon Prime too, if you have a subscription, which I happen to have it. So, but yeah, absolutely one of those films that it stays with you, it stays with you. And I think this was based on inspired by true stories of crime. So,
well, this is an excellent pick, Ellie. I did see this several years ago, and it's a heart-wrenching film, and I remember it was a tough watch. All right. My recommendation this week is the 1982 animated feature film, The Secret of Nim.
I love that movie so much. I love that movie. Sam Cole loves that movie. Sam Cole loves that movie. Podcast. Sorry.
well, I have not seen that movie.
You would love it. It's so good.
This is the first feature from the great Don Bluth. He used to be an animator over at Disney before he left, and he went off on his own to create his own production company. This came out, I think, when I was like 8 years old, and I remember it was a lean period for animation when this was coming out. This was the dark ages for Disney, when their studio was struggling to put out films that appeared to my generation during that decade. So during a lot of the 80s, other studios besides Disney were able to find an audience within the animation landscape. Another that comes to mind around this time was The Last Unicorn. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah.
And The Black Cauldron, which I think was a Disney movie.
Dark Tim Burton Disney movie. Yeah. Steven Spielberg actually produced two other Don Bluth movies, American Tail and The Land Before Time. Yeah.
Yes. No. So it would be another 7 years or so before The Little Mermaid would come out and Disney would just swallow the entire animation market for the most part. But, very interesting films were coming out around this time. And this was a very dark story about a family of mice. The mother, Mrs. Brisby, is a widow. Her husband died previously, and she is left to raise her children of mice. But she soon learns that their home is in danger of being destroyed by the farmer's plow that will be tilling the field that spring. However, she can't move the family quite yet because her youngest son is very sick. And that's only half the plot. It involves a very complex story about the rats of Nim, which her late husband had a relationship with. They are this intelligent society of rats who escaped from a lab, who formed the society in a nearby rose bush. This film has it all. It has like this political power struggles, magical, mystical arts.
It's so epic too.
Yeah.
It's so epic.
At the heart, it's a story about a mother who will do anything and everything it takes to save her family. And this film is an adaptation of the 1971 children's novel, Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nim by Robert C. O'Brien. And I understand they changed the character's name from Frisbee to Brisby, not to create confusion with the circular round disc that you toss around in your backyard.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. So also of note, this had some early voice work from two of the Brisby children in this film. Will Wheaton and Shannon Doherty are in this when they're just little kids. You wouldn't recognize their voices because they have like little tiny voices, but it also has wonderful voice acting from the great Dom DeLuise,
Yes.
playing the side character of the crow Jeremy. It has fantastic voice acting all around. Famed English actor Sir Derek Jacobi plays Nicodemus. John Carradine is the great owl in one of the most chilling scenes I witnessed as a young child. It gave me nightmares. The great owl, and it's fantastic. The voice acting is just incredible all around. It's like nothing like you've seen in a Disney movie. If you're just used to like the traditional 2D animated Disney movies, you have to see The Secret of NIMH if you haven't. It's like you
Jerry
said,
Goldsmith's soundtrack is incredible too. The music is just amazing.
It's epic, like no other Disney movie that's come before or after it. So me and Sam both highly recommend The Secret of NIMH. It's dark, it's epic, and I watched this movie. I taped it off of HBO onto a tape, and I wore the tape out growing up.
See, that's the thing. I watched it, my VHS copy of it. I grew up with that movie as well, so I just love it. And all the creepy, dark stuff, like it appealed to me as a kid. The world was like dangerous and scary. It was like frightening in a way good children's movies can be. And I like it when a children's movie is like willing to go toward the dark, not like crazy sadistic dark, like nothing like that. It's just rich and creepy in tone, and there's danger all over the meadow and around the house. Just the whole world of that movie was fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Your parents let you watch those?
Oh yeah, I saw Jaws when I was 5. Close to. Saw Terminator 2 in the theater when I was 10, like 4. I mean, my father loves movies as well, so I watched all of that stuff, and I just absorbed it like a sponge. I love that movie. Oh.
Yeah, that was not allowed in my house.
So, Secret NIMH actually is streaming in a lot of places. It's actually on Roku, Tubi, Canopy, Pluto with ads. Some of the free places you can find it with ads right now. But you can also obviously rent it on VOD anywhere as well.
Is The Secret of NIMH 2 streaming as well?
I have no idea.
Direct-to-video 1998 film with terrible reviews, and Ralph Macchio plays Timothy Brisby, I think, all grown up, and he's gone to Thorn Valley. So,
never seen it.
Yeah,
never seen it.
I saw part of it once, and I think it was like,
I can tell how much Nathan loves this movie because he was so passionately speaking about it.
Oh, for sure. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's an all-time favorite. Yeah. So those are our recommendations this week. And just want to say that, so we're about at the end of the show. I just want to say this upcoming week, if anybody is out there looking for some new things coming out, this weekend, Magic Mike's Last Dance comes out this weekend. Steven Soderbergh's return to the Magic Mike universe with Channing Tatum and Salma Hayek. Ellie, I think this was on your list of one of the most anticipated movies of the year for you.
It is.
You're going to be first in line, front and center.
As much as I want to watch, Knock at the Door. Did I say that right?
You can see that one too.
I'll see both, right?
Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin. Yeah. I really want to go see that one. So I'm probably going to see that one before I see Magic Mike. Or maybe I'll see both. Depends on how much time I have. Yeah.
Knock at the Cabin dethroned Avatar 2, which ran for 7 weeks at #1, but it was also M. Night Shyamalan's lowest box office opening, if I read that article correctly.
Are you sure?
Fascinating times we live in. His lowest opening weekend of all his M. Night Shyamalan films.
I'm surprised. Even like some of the early ones, like The Visit, where he's like really, really low budget.
Yeah.
I mean, interesting. Okay.
I'll have to fact check that, but I
Okay.
just read that. Yeah.
Okay. Also coming out this weekend is I guess it would be the 25th anniversary re-release in 3D.
Yeah. No,
Titanic is coming out.
Not happening.
Oh, wow.
I'm just letting you know if you need to see Titanic in 3D, especially IMAX 3D, you can go do that, which means that this weekend, Titanic and Avatar Way of Water are going to be battling it out. Two James Cameron movies, which I think will be the third and fourth highest grossing movies are going to be in the theater at the same time.
Yeah.
Think about
crazy.
that.
You think people are going to go watch Titanic in 3D?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
That
movie's going to make
will
another...
never, ever sink.
That movie is going to make another $70-80 million, I bet. And what's going to happen is Avatar The Way of Water is going to pass Titanic for about 2 days in the box office, and then Titanic is going to take it back over again.
Is your prediction, Nathan?
Yes. Okay, we'll see.
Right.
We'll keep an eye on the box office. Also coming out in wide release, and I don't know much about it, is a horror thriller Consecration from writer-director Christopher Smith. I don't know much about it, but that is in wide release. And coming to an A24 limited release is Sharper, which kind of looks interesting. It's starring Julianne Moore. It's a neo-noir thriller from director Benjamin Caron.
Nathan, check this out when you get a chance. Maybe not for this podcast, but you mentioned A24. There's a horror film in development called Back Rooms, and it was like developed by the 17-year-old kid who has a YouTube channel, and it's based off this.
Hate him already.
I know, yeah, but but literally, I've seen some of these videos, and they like, I think they bought. I don't know the details, but it's based off a like, it's just literally this kid was filming something, and it's like Backrooms is this other dimension, this like nondescript office building that you fall into with like endless corridors, and there's some like monster roaming around it, and it's got that like found footage vibe. But I was kind of looking into that today. It could be interesting. It might not be a while till it's made, but yeah.
Okay.
Backrooms.
It's
a thing too. It's like an urban legend.
Got it. Okay. And the last two things I'll just mention coming out, if you don't want to go out to the theater, coming to Netflix is the Reese Witherspoon star Your Place or Mine. It's a rom-com and directed by Arlene Brosh McKenna, who I think it's her directorial debut. She's done a lot of written a lot of rom-coms in the past decade or so. And the last thing I just want to mention is somebody I used to know, a new feature from Dave Franco. We all know Dave Franco. He's got a feature film he directed starring Alison Brie, another rom-com. A lot of rom-coms. Well, it's Valentine's Day, so they're all hitting the streamers right now.
By the way, I didn't have my phone in front of me a moment ago, but one quick thing with Backrooms, The Backrooms is an urban legend and creepy pasta which originated in a 2019 4chan thread about unsettling images. So it just started as some like picture that someone posted, and the mythology of it grew, and now there's just like tons of YouTube videos about how you can fall into this Backrooms universe. I don't know why I'm obsessed with it, but I just started looking at it today, and I'm like, oh, interesting. Anyway,
you are obsessed with that.
Yeah. Because it's just I just like the idea of like falling through a wall and like going somewhere else,
All right. Well, I think that does it for this week's episode of Back to the Frame Rate.
How long was this episode? Were we shorter?
We're probably maybe by a few minutes, but we're almost on par with last week. We'll
what's the time counter?
We'll get there. It's hard to tell right now.
I hope my voice wasn't as loud as it was last week.
I think we all sounded amazing.
If you come and listen to the podcast next week, you're going to win $1 million, and that's legitimate. So you're going to have to now.
What are you going to pay?
Just kidding. You won't win anything. No, I'm not going to pay anything. No money. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't have $1 million.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for tuning into this week's show. Back to the Frame Rate is part of the Weston Media Podcast Network. Please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Back to the Frame Rate and on Twitter at Back Frame Rate. I think we need to get a better handle for that Twitter one. But anyways, you can email us directly at backtotheframerate@gmail.com. So tune in next week. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.